Welcome to the State of the Nation. I'm your host, Mike Sham. Now, we've had a wonderful period of growth in the State of the Nation, and to prove that the State of the Nation is going places, we often ask prominent politicians to speak. The people that have come onto our show, we've raised the profile of some of our speakers, but nobody is bigger than the people we have here today. And we've got two guests with us today, and that is the Honourable President of the country, President CYRIL Ramaphosa, and his Deputy Paul Mashatile. Gentlemen, welcome to the State of the Nation, Mr. President and Mr. Deputy President.
Yeah, no.
Thank you very much for having us here. We've been watching you grow, and we must say you are doing well as a South African to let the people know what is happening with our country.
Yes.
Yeah, but somehow I feel like you know, because when they say podcast,
Yes.
I've watched podcasts.
Come on now.
They're drinking there.
Oh. No, we are drinking, but of course, this is a more respectable drink that we are having.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's nice. It's
But we start off with the celebration, because I think a few drinks were had. Congratulations on your 113th anniversary recently.
Magnificent. Yeah.
Magnificent for the party to be 113 years old.
We are trying.
No, we are doing well. I mean, as the longest running liberation movement on the continent and generally in the world right now, we must say we have done well, and we are happy that the people are still with us. 40% of them, but they're still with us nonetheless.
Now,
Yeah.
yes, I mean, let's start there, because I haven't spoken to you gentlemen before, but we were at that last election, and for the first time in New South Africa, the ANC didn't get more than 50%, dropping all the way from 57 to 40%. Mr. President, what happened?
In Cape Town, we discussed this, and now we are about renewal. Yeah, we had our own flaws, we had our own mistakes there and there, but we are about to,
No, we are going to move on. I mean, looking as we are right now is 2025, and we are looking forward to in the next 2 years when we really have a renewal and a reshuffling within the organization,
Yes.
where my leader over here will let me take over the organization and we can move forward. No, the situation we faced in the last elections, it's called ups and downs. That's what it's called. There is no organization that is always at 100% all the time. There are renewals, there are changes, there are moves, and that's what we are working on right now. And we are going to make this work out now.
Yes, I'm not sure about taking over, but but to be honest, as a party or as the government, I think people must give us the credit. We just went through COVID. Those were hard times.
Difficult.
Our minds were working on the things that are happening in the country more than the party itself.
Yes,
So we were concentrating in more saving lives than winning votes. And we think by the look of things, we did our best.
Under the leadership of the astute CYRIL Ramaphosa,
Yes.
we've done well as a nation.
Yes.
So before this election, it was this COVID thing that was perhaps, while you were keeping us all alive, that cost you some votes. Is that what you're saying, Mr. President?
That's what I'm actually saying, because we were more concerned about saving lives than service delivery and winning more votes.
Yes, and also we must remember that there was a situation of our previous leader, whose name shall not be mentioned anymore,
who still want to be part of us.
Yeah, but it does not. He's not sure. He's he in or he's out. Is he against? He's for, and because of that, he also confused some of our people. You see, and they are confused right now. But don't worry. Within the next year or two, that confusion will end. And since we have been very strong and said that we are kicking this person out, whose name shall not be mentioned,
we can call him the Mama Joy of politics.
Oh, that's very funny, Mr. President.
So those little things have contributed, but we are stabilizing. And in 2027, when I take over, we will even be strong.
I love how you dream. and ambitious.
The country needs vision.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
indeed,
If he don't faint, because
Now, Mr. President, we've heard renewal many times.
yes,
We've heard renewal, I still had hair when the first time I heard renewal. But what is going to be renewed this time? Now we're into renewal again. What are you going to renew now that you've got 40% and you need to rebuild? Is there something you're working on? Is there something we should know? Or is it just renewal, trust me?
GNU taught me something,
Many lessons.
that there's more we can do if we work together. I know as ANC, we've been believing in working together, but we were not really working together. Together, I mean involving white people. Yeah, so now I've learned that we really need you guys, because in this, how many months are we in GNU now?
We are sitting on what? It's about 5 months now, 6 months?
Yeah.
About 6 months.
There's a lot of positive things that have happened. So now I know where to focus. And as I was saying, COVID came and my mind was everywhere. I need to worry about the speech for the nation address. I need to worry about the numbers of people got infected, people
Practicing
who
how
died.
to wear a mask, critical things like that.
Yeah. So, but now looking at things, we don't have major problems. It's just these guys who didn't want to come out of the mine there. But we are winning.
Those gentlemen are there. They will be out very soon. But on the issue of the GNU, you see, Ma'am Helen. Ma'am Helen is really helping us and teaching us a lot of things, you see, on service delivery. So, which is one of the reasons why we went to Cape Town for January 8th.
To be next to her.
To be next to her and to be next to Cape Town, a functioning city. I mean, it's not all of it, but a functioning city.
And learning one or two
Things, you see, because we want to see how to take care of our people. Because Ma'am Helen and her people, they know how to take care of her people. I'm not saying who her people are, but they know how to take care of their people in Cape Town. We can see it happening live. So we are learning a lot of things there.
We also saw Khayelitsha. You had your event in Khayelitsha in a much smaller stadium than usual. That was a controversial decision to go to a small stadium. We're used to the ANC filling out FNB, Moses Mabhida. Now you're at a small stadium in Khayelitsha.
Mike, if you understand renewal, sometimes before you renew, you must kill and then build again. You understand? So we chose a small stadium because honestly, we wanted it to be sold out. And we wanted it so people understand that we are serious about rebuilding. Yes.
And another key thing you must remember, we are going through tough economic times and we cannot be seen as the ruling party to be overspending. So why must we spend on a large stadium when we can go to a smaller stadium that does not get a lot of business? So that was a strategic thing to boost the economy.
And save the best for the after part.
You know what I mean? So we are aware that austerity measures are something that we must. If we ask that of our citizens, then we must do the same as well. So from now on, fingers crossed, we'll just keep it at smaller areas not because we don't have people. No. It's not because there are no numbers. Please, let me just correct that. The numbers are there, but...
Can ask Malema, he'll tell you.
We've got numbers. Hey, young man, he's struggling. So
he does
so
numbers.
It's just austerity. Austerity to be like, we don't have to spend a lot,
But
in the economy.
No, it's the first time I've had you on, but not everybody is struggling economically. We know that there was certain problems, Mr. President. Some game sales that got a bit of attention. Money that got kept in furniture.
Well, that one I wish not to comment now because it's a national issue and there are serious people who are looking at that. But what I can say is that you do need expensive furniture as a person. Yeah, it plays a huge role to hide your things. Yeah.
And I mean, I cannot comment myself because I basically have a very small couch, just a simple koma, just a simple koma. And but as a man who works a lot, you need to be comfortable where you sit.
Yes.
And sometimes you want to sit and make sure that your assets are well taken care of. And what better place to watch your assets than right
Add
underneath
the
you?
more shock absorb.
I mean,
Yes. and again, that issue, man, it's not really, because, you know, to be honest, as the president of the country, as a person, South Africa knows I'm a person as well. As a person, as you, Mike, you are doing podcast now, but you love soccer. You understand what I'm saying? And then now people see you on the sports ground running, and then, hey, why do we say no? I'm a salesperson. I love selling living things, you know. And sometimes people tip you. Yeah, you get tips from abroad.
Yeah.
And then what do you need to do? Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but we'll leave it to my lawyers and my vice president. I think
the issue has been squashed. I don't even know why we keep talking about it. You know, new couches have been bought. I mean,
I just have to say, ask that on behalf of many of the viewers would expect me to ask that. But let's move on. Let's just lastly on the anniversary celebration. There was a trip to Robben Island.
Yes.
Your Secretary General didn't go on the ferry. He went on quite a nice little yacht.
That one, you know, we as a party, we like ANC is a very big. What can I say? It's a very big party where we have different departments.
That's it. That's right.
And as a president and him as a vice president, we as much as we run ANC, but we don't run the departments. You know, there are things that get approved to the Department of Finance and Department of what. People decide what to do, and because we actually agreed on a bus. And then somebody said, how can we drive on a bus through the sea to Robben Island?
Unfeasible.
I was like, wow,
Unfeasible.
I forgot the Robben Island is in, like, there's
an
water.
island,
You see, so then somebody said, hi, we have this government, you know, it's like a bus, but for water. Then we agreed that we'll take that.
I think they call it a
Then
ferry.
our Secretary General have friends that organizes things. I'm still crossed as well, because I think as the president, I was supposed to be there with him, because that public one was not really comfortable.
But also that having been said, we as the party, we like to support local businesses. And yachting is a big business within Cape Town. And I mean, it would be wrong for us to support small businesses in the township and then not support big
businesses in the city.
So what the young man, well, not so young man, was doing was just basically supporting a local business, you know. And that's what has happened. And in fact, what that has done, it has shown to the world that in Cape Town, you can go yachting if you want to. So 2 birds were killed at the same time: support local business and then also increase tourism. You see what I mean now? Tourism, now all these rich playboys from oligarchs in Russia, when they want to come to a place where they can do yachting, they don't have to go to Monaco, they don't have to go to Miami, they can come to Cape Town. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So it's killing 2 birds with one stone. It's a non-issue, this thing. It's a non-issue.
And again, I feel as South Africans, we choose to focus on something that is not really important and forget the whole picture. Because we went to Robben Island to see where our own Madiba slept.
And others.
And others. No, not two. Because I even heard them. One who left us and still want to be part of us was there as well. But to be honest, now we have learned there that these people were kept there. No sports, no reading. That was my whole concern. I think you saw the video where I was concerned that these people were not even reading. These people were just locked there and sitting. Imagine Mandela thinking about Graça Machel. And by that time, he was not even his wife. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm worrying if I don't know what he was thinking, but what I'm saying is that that trip, we wanted to actually feel what our leader Nelson Mandela felt, you know. So I think as a country, let's focus on serious things like knowing that Mandela was there for a particular time. You understand?
What we are doing with this issue is we are focusing on the tree and missing the forest.
Yeah.
The forest is we went and we highlighted where our people were locked up and
Where our liberation
our
comes
liberators, and they couldn't read drum. Can you believe in the 60s and 70s, as a black man, you cannot read Drum magazine? It's a critical piece of literature, that thing. You know, it was very critical. So, yeah, that's what we must focus on. I mean, that's one thing, but...
But Drum magazine.
Come on now. You see, it's very critical.
And I, to be honest, as a president, I really wanted, because most of the times when I go there, it's like maybe I'm with Barack Obama. Like other, like I can't even focus on what really happened. Because I once wrote a book about there's actually even a movie called Letters of Hope. Like I wanted to understand, how did that boy transport the letters from Robben Island to our people in the township when Mandela was sending messages to the boys who were running ANC underground.
How?
You get what I'm saying?
How?
So now I had, like, let's not focus on how Fikile got there. Fikile, like his name, he will just be there. Fikile means he got
Arrived.
there.
Arrived.
Arrived. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about, as we go into the new year, the government of national unity. A lot of the people, especially the ones we don't want to talk about, not very happy about the government of national unity. And even within your movement, we've had members of the Communist Party saying that they're very unhappy with the government of national unity. I don't think they're big fans of Helen Ziller. But you happy with the way the government of national unity is working? You said so earlier.
Mike, what I can say is that jealous lives in black people. If GNU come during his time, if GNU came during his time, he was going to be happy. Because to be honest, this is for all of us. Do you get what I'm saying? It was our first time to see a black successful man divorce or separate with a white successful lady. Like, who's that guy?
Yeah, Sia
Collins. If there was no GNU,
that would...
when you understand what I'm saying. But as a country, we are moving to a positive place. We are moving, like, as a country, I don't really like Helen. But with this GNU made me look at her from a different angle. Sometimes you look at a person from the front angle and then you don't see what's behind them.
Hey, okay.
And you get to see them behind. You are like, wow. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying, as South Africans, let us cherish this GNU because it is working for us. And for you, Mike, for you, white people. Yeah, because this is where we see white people taking Cape Town and bringing it in Soweto. You understand? Because of this GNU.
Yes.
So all I'm saying is that my fellow South African, relax. Good things and money, it's coming.
It's coming.
Yes.
Also, you see, I don't know if you have heard this term, Mike, this term called haters. Haters are people that ain't us, basically. Hate us.
Yes.
They hate us because they ain't us. So this gentleman whose name shall not be mentioned, his fear is that he's no more in the inner circle. You see. And we tell people all the time, it's cold outside the ANC. They never believe us. Look at him now. Look at that young boy, Julius. Cold. He's being abandoned by all the people that he fooled into going to the EFF and starting this ridiculousness of his getting dressed up in red. Now people cannot change their wardrobe because you are supposed to dress red. You are invited to an all-white party. Now you are dressed in red. My president is looking good in an all-white party.
Imagine what happened to the uniform of Floyd Shibambo because he's big. Who else can wear it in the EFF?
cannot pass
It's
it
like
down
it
to
went to
anybody.
waste.
It went to
You understand? Who create uniform in this country? Black people. Now,
So yeah, you see, the thing is, these haters that are outside, they are going to hate. And then, of course, there are these gentlemen and these people that are with us, that have been with us since day one, the SACP. We have a lot of respect for them. But just like in any family, there will be differences.
yes.
And differences come and they go. They will be ironed out, they'll be worked out. And we've had a couple of months of having conversations. I think we are on a path where we will be working together once again and in agreement with where the GNU is going. So the SACP will be fine with them.
They must just relax.
COSATU, also them will be fine with them. Our brothers within the Gauteng government as well, who have also been very vocal about this issue. So, no, look, they will work it out because they will also learn a thing or two about how to run a city.
Exactly.
Because, they can learn from the DA, and maybe Johannesburg can have water and electricity.
You understand?
You know what I mean?
And I don't know if, Mike, you know the song by, because what's really happening now between me and that previous guy?
Other guy.
It's like he's Drake the singer, and I am Kendrick Lamar.
Obvious.
And then there's a song called
They are not like us.
They are not like us. You must listen to that song. As a president, sometimes I sit, switch off my lights, close the doors, and play that song. And that's where I see that I'm in the right track. They are not like us. That is why they are making the noise they are making.
He's a very cool president. He's very in tune with the youth and what is happening with pop culture.
Yes.
You see.
Yeah, because I remember not too long ago where I would sit and suddenly the lights would be turned off for me.
Mike.
Yeah, those are the things of the past.
Jokes.
Because what was that electricity company?
Eskom.
Yeah, this is where I want you to see that this GNU is working for us. Ever since we started GNU, have you experienced load shedding? Nothing.
Well, no, not all of us, but
Yeah, I think a month or two we were celebrating 200 days without load shedding.
We are sitting on about 275 or something, 76. Yeah.
And how old is the GNU?
Yeah.
It must say something
1
to
plus
you.
1 equals to GNU.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that, guys, as things have changed. There's no shaka now. We can't take the spears and go to who are you going to fight? Because white people are in the cities. So all I'm saying is that let us try to work together. If there are tenders, as a black person, get something. Whether you are the security, but just be part of what is happening.
Now, the next big event is going to be the local government elections, 2026.
That one we are taking it. Simple.
I'm pretty confident. I am pretty confident myself, as my leadership has told you here, that we are going to take it. We have learned a lot of things from the mishaps of the 2024 elections. We have learned, one, how to speak to our people. As you learned, we've also learned how to apologize. If you remember the Kailicha home where my bodyguards had a little bit of a scuffle there, we did not stand up on our high horses and act like we are more important. No, we apologized immediately.
The young boy, the young man was trying to chase.
Yeah, no, he was not. That's neither here nor there. The point is, as an organization, we have learned how to apologize when we have made a mistake.
But Paul, I'm sorry, Mike, because he was supposed to come back and give me a report what really happened. I see videos trending of people saying you must go out, but you didn't really come to me and explain, Mr. President, this is what was happening. But all I heard is that the guy, somebody was chasing him from his home. Now he's chasing, like. No,
leadership. At that point, you were still focusing on getting ready for your speech to deliver at the January 8th place. And then you also had a meeting with Mem Helen. And you were also having to think about what is happening at the State of the Nation that's coming soon. I cannot burden you with all the small details, my president.
But Paul, as the vice president, I'm sorry to say this, but as a vice president, you are like a secretary.
How?
Yes, I'm like, whatever I miss, you must get it.
Yes,
You understand?
yes,
Because it's like I'm preparing you to take the liberation and the revolution to continue with the struggle. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, noted,
But then
my
I
leadership.
can't be here and listening to Mike asking you about things that I don't even know.
You see, this is the point for me to demonstrate what I'm talking about. I apologize, my president. You see, as an organization, we've learned to apologize to our people. And when we make mistakes, we rectify them on the spot. I shall rectify, which is why in 2027, we are going to, 2026, we are going to do well in our local government elections.
One of the areas, and you mentioned it, and you yourself, Mr. Deputy President, come out of Gauteng. Now, there's been a bit of disagreement about the way to run Gauteng, because you also lost a majority there quite badly, all the way down to in the 30%. But Mr. Panyaza Lesufi is hanging on without doing a government, a province of unity.
Well, with that issue, and it is something that we've spoken about. We have come together. We've spoken at national level, at provincial level, at a regional level, and at a branch level. And we are very confident with our provincial branch in the way they are performing. Now, look, I don't know if you noticed this thing in the GNU, that the N stands for national unity. So even within the province, we are united. We may not be united when it comes to the actual running of the provinces, but we are united as parties because nationally we understand what is happening. With the question of how the province is being run, let us not mince our words here. We must be aware of the fact that in the last 5-6 years, the leadership of the province and the city of Johannesburg has been run by Mashaba at some point, that lady from the DA at some point who ran away from politics and is now a doctor. She could not heal the nation, but now she wants to heal people. Anyway, let's not talk about that. And now we are at a point where we have finally figured out that the right person to lead within the province is Panyaza Lesufi, because he did amazing things when he was MC of education and making sure that our young disadvantaged students are able to access quality education instead of, we'll talk about fixing the schools themselves, but at least they've got access to quality education at those schools that are still functioning well. So I think, we'll be doing pretty well. We'll be doing pretty well.
But there's talks of him wanting, perhaps doing this because he wants bigger office.
On that one, Mike, there's a young man by the name Scott Mapuma. He's one of the boys that we've sponsored as a party to pursue his music career. And there's a song that he did. Because Johannesburg or Gauteng, it's called Egoli. The young man has a song asking, "Wazbani Egoli?"
Who do you know?
Who do you know in Gauteng? Hence, I think Mashaba and those guys lost Gauteng because we brought the young man to ask them, "Wazbani Egoli? Ufunani Egoli?"
Pure poetry. Pure poetry.
So what I'm trying to say is that, Panyaza is the right candidate, because Panyaza, when he was in education, if he didn't understand anything about the school, he'll close the school. So now, if he don't understand anything about the building, he'll close it. If he don't understand anything about the department, he'll close it. Like Lesufi is a young man that during the struggle, I used to see him closing the doors and the gates and everything for us as old people who were fighting for this free South Africa. So I put him there strategically because I know there's one best thing he's good at. He'll close the gap.
He has no problem with closure.
Yes.
He's very great at breaking up relationships because he gets closure.
Exactly.
Which brings me to the point of, you're into your second term, Mr. President.
Yes.
And, none of your predecessors have completed their second term.
Yes. That one, I just want to say, you must remember I'm vendor. And everybody knows in South Africa, the strongest ancestors, they come from vendor.
And
Yeah, so the previous guy tried, but like Zulu ancestors, man, they don't finish what they start. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so this is the time where I'm going to focus on service delivery. I'm going to focus on the GNU and focus on liberating the poor of the poorest. Because the previous one was disturbed by COVID-19 and a lot of things. So I believe South Africans still have hope and still have I just don't want to say they are too ambitious, but what I'm saying is that they can see the potential that I have in running this country.
also, you must be aware of something critical. Those two previous times when presidents whose terms were cut short, they were not quite cut short. What happened was, and this is something that I think in any organization, there cannot be two centers of power within an organization. So once your term as a president of the party has come to an end, how are you going to run the country? But that being said, if I take over, we have a very strong relationship with my presidents, and our ideas are aligned. Because that's another problem. The move from the other man whose name shall not be mentioned to my astute president here was a move from two different ideologies on how the party must run. Similarly as well, when it was a change from Thabo Mbeki to the previous one whose name shall not be mentioned, was also a move from two different ideologies. And because of that, there were some fractious tremors within the party. But that's what happens in any party. Every 5 to 10 years, there's always a renewal and a recycling. And some of it comes with growing pains. And those are some of the growing pains. But we know that between me and leadership here, there are no issues of that nature.
And we actually had a common denominator or a common division, which was Julius. So if you can honestly look at the past, all the president couldn't finish their second term because of him. You know, who pushed the guy we don't want to mention the name.
Pay back the money.
Yes, he was saying pay back the money. And we are not even sure about the story of the money. Because the swimming pool we were complaining about, now we can see what happened in Los Angeles. You know that if you have that
the
pool,
fire pool.
yes, you can actually save the whole town. You understand what I'm
There's
saying?
never been a forest fire in Kandla because
There's a pool. Even the fire knows that there's no point of going there because the fire pool is there. You understand what I'm saying? As much as I'm fighting with him, but there are positive things that I can take from him. Just that my wife can't allow me to marry another wife. But yes.
now we take the victories where we can.
Yes.
So, Mr. Deputy President, what you're saying is, if the mantle should fall onto you, onto your shoulders, at the next ANC electoral conference, you would allow our president to complete his second term.
As he should. Also, you must be aware that these are different circumstances. Back in the previous administration of the man whose name shall not be mentioned, that was a completely ANC government. Now we are in a government of national unity. So we must always have the nation's interests at heart. And Ma'am Helen would not be very comfortable with suddenly parachuting something new and changing things and there being disruptions within an organization that is, even though it's not the majority, it has still got a large chunk of the electoral on their side,
Yes.
So that stability is key. And we are, with our discussions with our other partners within the Government of National Unity, by other partners, I mean Ma'am Helen, we are aware that we cannot be messing this thing up at this point. We want to make it as gradual and as comfortable as possible, and that is exactly what will happen.
Yes.
If I am president.
Yeah, no. That's a positive point. I'm now a bit convinced
Oh, thank you.
can
Thank
actually run.
you. Yes.
Now, Mr. President, when you were deputy president, and we were heading towards a conference in 2017, another candidate was brought into the race by the previous president, who we won't name today. But is there any chance of another candidate coming into the race?
Remind me, who was the new candidate that was brought in?
It was his ex-wife.
So you see, you see why it didn't happen, because ANC, it's not your family. ANC is an organization, so we can't just shift power from you but still take it to the same bed. No. So what they were trying to do by then, it was just a joke, and we took it as a joke.
You cannot
get what I'm saying?
cannot get the party in the divorce settlement.
Yes. So I see now there's a young man in the ANC Youth League trying to papa there, as if he knows what he's doing. That's why I once told him he was sitting at the wrong table in the conference, sitting with people that have money that contributed to the, but he didn't contribute. Do you get what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that I am grooming Paul, if he can be patient, because you'll never know. Maybe after this term, I might wake up and think another term, because I feel like I am running this country to the right direction.
Okay, and that right direction, unemployment is a big problem.
Well, unemployment, I was looking at our grade 12 results. We are still doing better as unemployment. We are doing better than the pass rate. So I'm thinking we are still fine. We're still fine. That is why, again, we have the Government of National Unity, because these people have big yards. Who do they hire to look at after? They have dogs. Who looks after those dogs? Do you get what I'm saying? Yes. So all I'm saying is that as South Africa, let us not forget where we come from. We know where the pastures are green. Do you get what I'm saying? So let's not get hyped by Malema and all the MK guys that are trying to say things. But what I'm saying is that let's just focus. If you see a corner shop that you can run as a black person, go there, we will fund you.
Also, you must be aware of this thing. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's a term that is very colloquial amongst us here in this wonderful country of ours. We are a nation of hustlers. We are a nation of hustlers, and there are very many young people out there that are hustling. They will find a way to make the economy work for them. What we have done is we have made it a little bit easier for the informal economy to thrive, because this unemployment statistic that we speak of, it speaks of unemployment. So when you say employed, that means someone that has a boss. But if you're not your own boss, you are unemployed, but you are making a living. Do you see what I'm going at now?
Yes.
So the employment statistics are only speaking of people that don't have bosses. But amongst those people that don't have bosses, there are a lot of them that are hustling. So the figures of people, we must have a metric, which is something we must speak to the statistics essay, a metric where we measure who is making a living. What is the percentage of South Africans making a living? We're not going to ask how. Let's not ask how they're making a living, because we don't want to get answers and find out people have bigger couches than ours. What I'm saying is there are people that are still making a living out there, even informally. Because you even know that South Africa, there's a large number of people that are unbanked, but they make money.
Yes.
So we don't know how much they're making. where they're making it from, how often they make it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that metric must be measured. So we shouldn't worry too much about that unemployment number. Unemployed means no boss. Does not mean you are not making money.
Yes.
And then if you're your own boss, you can ask yourself for a raise.
Yeah. Can you see now the setup is beautiful?
Setup, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's what you do here. When you want a raise, you just press a button and you're doing well. Eh?
And if everything fails, you just join Betway. You take chances, you might win.
I'd like to ask one last question, because you've both been very positive towards the government of national unity. There have been a lot of people saying that there may be a problem of the ministers from the other parties in the government of national unity outshining the ANC cabinet ministers.
We are aware of that, but all I can say is that we shall see. Where does it take them?
Look. Since my position within the government is the one who
The vice.
who runs the business, the actual day-to-day business of government, and monitoring that within parliament and the executive, they are working together well. I can tell you for free right now that at this point, if anybody tells you that another minister from another party is doing better than another, they will be lying, because the mandate that they are working on right now is still on the previous State of the Nation and the plans that we had last year in the last year's budget, the budget. So all the plans that are being implemented are basically the plans that we came up with. But that being said, remember, this is a government of national unity. Once you are in the government, you are not the government of ANC or DA or PA. No, you are a government of South Africa.
Yeah, we're not
So
the government of attention.
Yes, all ministers are ministers of the nation.
Yeah.
Whether you're a minister that started your business in the DA, you are a minister of South Africa now. And then also, like my leadership is saying, we are not people who just want attention, who want follows, and want to be recognized on social media.
We're actually not influencers. We are not seeking followers, or we are running the government.
Yes.
So if there's a chance of working together, let's work together. If you win, you are winning for the nation.
For the nation.
And that's our mandate.
For the nation.
The country seems to be in very good hands.
Yes.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Just as a last thought, have either of you seen Blade and Zamandi? We haven't seen him in months. Just wondering if he's around.
Yeah, I was talking to him this morning. He's currently in rehab. So I know it's not something that I was supposed to share here, but we are trying to rehabilitate him because of the things that he,
Well, we wish him well.
Very much so.
Mr. President, Mr. Deputy President, I know that you've got a very busy schedule. Thank you for coming into the State of the Nation.
Yes.
It's so nice. You can speak to the nation and to keep us all so confident about where the country's going, that it's in good hands.
Yes.
No, thank you very much for inviting us. It's platforms like this that keep us connected to the people, and we appreciate the hard work that you are doing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy President.
Thank you so much, my fellow South Africans. This is a year of laughing. If there's a comedy show in your town, just attend and laugh. Want my people to be laughing. Want my people to be enjoying themselves, because we've went through a lot. We've lost a lot of people during COVID-19. Now it's about time where we sit down, reflect, and laugh. That's all I can say. Let's just laugh.
Because people need comedy.
Halala.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see, we told you that State of the Nation will get prominent people, and nobody more prominent than the President and the Deputy President. We'd like to thank Pace Car Rental that takes us seriously, and they support us throughout. And thank you to everybody that's watched us. If you want to see us again speak to presidents of countries, subscribe to the State of the Nation. We'll see you again.
Peace Car Rental. Thank you for that BMW that I've rented, and for that Toyota Corolla for my vice president. We are happy.
Keeping up to pace with the nation.
Alala.